In 1989, a tornado came right down our street. And it was this mayor and his team who stepped up and made things happen. And one of the reasons I chose to run for mayor was because some days are good, but you need a mayor who knows what's going on when things are bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he came to the shelter. We were in the shelter. He came every day.
Hey.
He came every day to check on us. Told me where my cat was even.
Thanks, Mom. If you don't know, that's my mother, Betty Jackson.
Remember the guy that flew 212 feet from the apartment house next to the middle school with a Sports Illustrated in his hand, boxer shorts, landed on second base of the softball diamond, and he kept saying, "You won't believe what happened to me," over and over again. I found out he was on the second floor, he was getting, the water was going in a bathtub. He was going to take a bath. A half a second later, the whole second floor is gone. He flew. We measured it, 212 feet, never dropped the magazine. Never dropped it. On second base, there he was.
I saw a guy in a doghouse, shoulder rolling down the middle of Putnam Avenue. You see strange things sometimes in life. My public works director, who some of you know, a former Republican member of council, but he bleeds green and gold. We've known each other a long time. He said, "Scott, here, I got a problem. My problem is the plow blades are about 38 inches off the ground. And when the snow is higher than that, it comes over the top of the blades and it gets the wheel stuck and we lose our plows. We lost 11 out of 16 plows overnight." He said, "Scott, I need a different kind of equipment. I need construction equipment." And I said, "Craig, get it." He said, "But no, you don't understand. It's really expensive. We have to chop our way with loaders, one scoop at a time, over 240 miles from here to Baltimore." And he said, that's gonna be really expensive. Now I'm just saying, Craig, people die and stuff like that. We do it. And don't worry, I already have the money. What? I said, don't worry about it. I have the money. Now let me flash back to Tropical Storm Irene. My friend Matt Galligan is town manager of South Windsor, Connecticut. Anybody ever been to South Windsor? Probably not. Probably not. I read in the Hartford Current that South Windsor paid $7 million for a storm cleanup from Tropical Storm Irene. And I said, that's outrageous. And I called him and I said, "Matt, we're 3 times as big as you are. How'd you pay for it?" He said, "There is a little known piece of state legislation. It's from the 30s, from the flood in the 30s. They didn't name the storm and they never repealed it. If you go through those steps, you can actually bond it." So when Craig Caesar is telling me I'm going to need millions of dollars, I say I already have millions of dollars. I know the way. It's arcana. But you know what? I'm a nerd, and that's what I do. That's what I do. So on that day, there were probably not 10 people in the state of Connecticut who knew you could do this. I happen to be one of them. And now our legislative council also knows about this opportunity. Anybody ever hear of Harvey Milk?
Yeah.
San Francisco's version of our legislative council is called the Board of Commissioners. They got 9 of them. As it so happens, because life works in funny ways, a friend of mine is in Harvey Milk's seat on the Board of Commissioners for San Francisco. And so I talked to him one day. His name is also Scott. I said, "Scott, I got paving problems. How the heck do you guys do paving in this type of environment?" And he walked me through it. And some things work and some things don't. But the thing that mattered to me was, he said, we have sort of an independent analysis of all the road conditions. It's actually kind of easy for us because we can say, no, your road isn't the worst road in San Francisco. That road is, because we have it on paper. One of the things that we did was we got an independent firm on a grant through the South Central Regional Council of Governments to analyze all our roads. So for the first time in history, we can actually have a plan that is data focused and makes sense for something that matters. What I'm saying is, and I'm very uncomfortable using the word I so much, but right now this is what we're talking about. When it comes down to finding the people who have done it and done it well and have a plan and have a program, I've got a Rolodex. And when you ask yourself, who do I want? Saying yes, no, and this is how to do it. You want the guy with the Rolodex. You want the guy with a statewide and national network of contacts to say, we can get through this, and we can do it in a smart way, and we can resolve the issues. For me, the answer is yes. Now, why? It matters. Now, I'll tell you a story that probably nobody knows, except for my family. When
I don't see that face on TV very often.
So when we got the record snowfall, it took us a day and a half to shovel out. Mandy actually did all the work. She said, "You're busy. You're on the phone doing this," and she did all the work, except for the last couple of feet. When the governor called me, he said, "I can get there. Let me come in." And I said, "Come on in, I'll meet you." And so I did the last couple of feet and broke out into the world. And not too long after that, I had to take my son Max to the emergency room. This is not made up stuff. This is everybody's real life. You know, you can try to make political points about storm response or how'd you do it. When it came right down to it, you said, what happened? When I told Craig, go and get those contractors, we were 15 minutes ahead of everybody else in the state of Connecticut. Everybody else. We got the contractors. The state of Connecticut was waiting. Everybody else was waiting because we put out the call because we knew we could do it. And that made the difference when I had to go in the middle of the night to the emergency room. We had the guys there who got it done. What we do matters.